Chapter 6, 7, and 8. Chapter 6. Alexander, Bishop of Constantinople, when at the point of death, proposes the election of either Paul or Macedonius as his successor. About the same time, another disturbance, in addition to those we have recorded, was raised at Constantinople on the following account. Alexander, who had presided over the churches in that city and had strenuously opposed Arius, departed this life, having occupied the bishopric for 23 years and lived 98 years in all, without having ordained anyone to succeed him. But he had enjoined the proper persons to choose one of the two whom he named, that is to say, if they desired one who was competent to teach and of eminent piety, they should elect Paul, whom he had himself ordained presbyter, a man young indeed in years, but of advanced intelligence and prudence. But if they wished a man of venerable aspect and external show only of sanctity, they might appoint Macedonius, who had long been a deacon among them and was aged. Hence there arose a great contest respecting the choice of a bishop, which troubled the church exceedingly. For ever since the people were divided into two parties, one of which favored the tenets of Arius, while the other held that the Nicene Synod had defined those who had held the doctrine of consubstantiality, always had the advantage during the life of Alexander, the Arians disagreeing among themselves and perpetually conflicting in opinion. But after the death of that prelate, the issue of the struggle became doubtful, the defenders of the Orthodox faith insisting on the ordination of Paul, and all the Arian party espousing the cause of Macedonius. Paul therefore was ordained bishop in the church called Irene, which is situated near the great church of Sophia, whose election appeared to be more in accordance with the suffrage of the deceased. Chapter 7. The Emperor Constantinus ejects Paul after his election to the bishopric, and sending for Eusebius of Nicomedia, invests him with the bishopric of Constantinople. Not long afterwards, the emperor, having arrived at Constantinople, was highly incensed at the consecration of Paul, and having convened an assembly of bishops of Arian sentiments, he divested Paul of his dignity, and translating Eusebius from the see of Nicomedia, he appointed him bishop of Constantinople. Having done this, the emperor proceeded to Antioch. Chapter 8. Eusebius, having convened another synod at Antioch in Syria, causes a new creed to be promulgated. Eusebius, however, could by no means remain quiet, but, as the saying is, left no stone unturned in order to effect the purpose he had in view. He therefore causes a synod to be convened at Antioch in Syria, under pretense of dedicating the church which the father of the Augustus had commenced, and which his son Constantius had finished in the 10th year after its foundations were laid, but with the real intention of subverting and abolishing the doctrine of the Homoousian. There were present at this synod 90 bishops from various cities. Maximus, however, bishop of Jerusalem, who had succeeded Marcius, did not attend, recollecting that he had been deceived and induced to subscribe the deposition of Athanasius. Neither was Julius, bishop of the great Rome, there, nor had he sent a substitute, although an ecclesiastical canon commands that the churches shall not make any ordinance against the opinion of the bishop of Rome. This synod assembled at Antioch in the presence of the emperor Constantius in the consulate of Marcellus and Pobius, which was the 5th year after the death of Constantine. father of the Augustine Flacius, otherwise called Flacius, successor to Epiphanius at that time, presided over the church at Antioch. The confederates of Eusebius had previously designed to culminate Athanasius, accusing him in the first place of having acted contrary to a canon which they then constituted in resuming his episcopal authority without the license of a general council of bishops, inasmuch as on his return from exile he had on his own responsibility taken possession of the church, and then because a tumult had been excited on his entrance, and many were killed in the riot, moreover, that some had been scourged by him, and others brought before the tribunals. Besides, they brought forward what had been determined against Athanasius at Tyre.